Hey guys, this is Caleb Bernard, and I will be doing a literary review for the Code of Hammurabi, ancient Babylonian law book that set the standard for many of today's modern laws. Okay, let's go over an introduction to what the Code of Hammurabi entails. Well, one, it was used by the Babylonians. It was invented, or written by the Babylonian king Hammurabi, the third Babylonian king. Um, Quite interesting, actually. Most historians believe that it was merely his whim and not necessarily a code of ethics that everybody agreed on. Back then, a lot of law and code were just the word of the king. He just happened to be the first king to clarify it in writing, as far as we're aware. It's filled with over 280 laws. It has exactly 282 laws and statutes, along with punishments for crimes. Most of them are rather harsh, or in some cases just quite ridiculous, such as if a man is accused of a capital crime and is found to be innocent, the man that accused him is to be put to death. But rules like these are what kept the peace back in the day. I actually was able to acquire a picture of part of the Code of Hammurabi written in cuneiform on a stone tablet. Here it is. As you can see, it's very similar to the ancient Egyptians' hieroglyphics. It's symbol-based, only these symbols do not represent real-life things. Pretty interesting stuff. Now I'm going to go over a couple of the laws. I'm using a Yale-based website, avalon.law.yale.edu, as for a translation of it. Quite interesting. Now let's get into a couple of the laws that I found to be interesting and quite helpful in understanding about the Code of Hammurabi. Let's start with law number 2. This law is kind of ridiculous, but it's just a sampling of what some of the stuff in the Code of Hammurabi entails. If anyone bring an accusation against a man, and the accused go to a river and leap into the river, if he sinks in the river, his accuser shall take possession of his house. But if the river proves that he is not guilty, otherwise known as he is able to float or swim, and he is able to escape unhurt, then he who has brought these accusations shall be put to death. Quite interesting stuff. Let's go on to law number 8. If anybody steals cattle, sheep, an ass, a pig, or a goat, if it belonged to the court, the thief shall pay 30-fold. If it belonged to a freedman of the king, he shall pay 10-fold. And if the thief has nothing to pay with, he shall be put to death. So as you can see, many of these crimes were punishable by very extreme measures. Let's move on to another interesting one. 109. I found this law to be very interesting and very useful, and not too unreasonable considering the time that they were in. Rule 109. If conspirators meet in the house of a tavern keeper, and the tavern keeper does not capture or deliver them to the court or rat them out, then the tavern keeper shall be put to death. Pretty simple rule, not too harsh. I mean, if you're harboring criminals, that's a reasonably punishable crime in my opinion. Let's move on to Rule 112. If anyone be on a journey and entrusts silver, gold, or precious stones, or any movable property to another man, and wish to recover it from him, if he later does not bring all of the property that he was appointed to take care of, but squandered it or used it for his own means, the man who did not keep the property shall be convicted and shall pay 5-fold all that has been entrusted to him. So pretty much, if somebody asks you to keep their gold necklace or gold bracelet or anything that is mobile, that is of worth, and you lose it or squander it, you have to pay 5 times as much as you lost. So that's one thing you don't want to be messing with. Now on to the last rule that I'm interested in, Rule 28. If a man... Personally, I think that this is quite a silly rule, and in modern day culture, obviously this does not stand. If a man takes a woman to be his wife, but has no intercourse with her, the woman is no wife to him. So pretty much, if you don't have sex with the person you're married to, you're essentially not married to them. Essentially, back then, or intercourse is what defined marriage. It's what brought marriage to life. So, if another man were to sleep with your wife and you hadn't yet, it was not considered a crime, unfortunately. So you're pretty much screwed over. But that is my review of the Code of Hammurabi. and a few of the snippets of laws. Some interesting, some useful, some I would consider to be just, and some just plain ridiculous. And that's about it.